Imagine you get shot and you've got a scar right there to prove it, right? And you survive, right? Simba, a beautiful, beautiful white shepherd, now living his best life. I met him and I melted because he was about 8 when I first met him, and I noticed this scar and I asked what the scar was, and he'd been shot by his owner at the time. Now, it's actually still common, and we're still doing our best to educate, right? Farmers. There are still farmers that shoot their dogs when their dogs are not working the way they want them to work. So in the same way that greyhounds shouldn't be racing and deserve better, a lot of working dogs deserve better. There are so many rescues that will take dogs, that will take a dog. You don't have to shoot it. So the story, it's a beautiful, amazing story, but it was a farmer, his wife, and a son that lived out on the farm. And Simba was one of the dogs, he's a white shepherd. And the dad had been threatening for ages that he was going to shoot this dog because he hadn't been performing the way he wanted. So long story short, the kid gets home one day and he goes, "Where's Simba?" Because, he loved the dog. To him, the dog was his friend. And the mum said, "I don't know, I think he's with your dad out in the shed." And he hears a gunshot. So he runs, he races to the shed, and sure enough, Simba's on the ground, there's blood everywhere, the dad's shot him. But Simba's still breathing, he can see it. So the dad goes to shoot again, and the kid jumps in and he says, "Don't," picks the dog up and races him off to the vet, right? And the dog gets surgery and he never goes back. The kid never takes the dog back there, right? Ever. Now, fast forward years later, that kid's grown up. He's, Simba is now his dog and he's living his best life ever. But it still happens, guys. They're not all as lucky as Simba. They're really not. So here at Story of a Lonely Dog, we're sharing true stories. So if you haven't heard about this series, we're a new series taking over the world, educating the masses to better the lives of dogs. I take a dog's true story, I turn it into a song, and I put it out in the world. And through education, we can make change. So if you like the idea of that, please support this series, Story of a Lonely Dog. You can support us by liking, commenting, sharing. You can also support us by watching and listening to the episodes. So the first song of the series is up. It's called Barmer. It's about an old girl that was rescued. All true stories. Head to the website www.storyofalonelydog.com and you can buy the song if you'd like, or buy the merch. 50% of all the profits go back to helping dogs in need. So, it's a really beautiful series, guys. Have a listen to these lyrics. It'll just melt your heart. If you're into being melted in a nice way, this is it. To Simba, the survivor. Simba was a special dog, lived on a farm, he had a big job. Simba was a special dog, lived on a farm, he had a big job. He herd the sheep and reeled them in. But when that dog stops listening, behind the shed he goes. To you he is a working dog, to me he's my friend. In the morning when I'm leaving, I'll make sure he knows I won't forget him. He'll race home from school, race home just to see you. The school days are the worst when I'm not home to show them how to treat you. But when that dog stops listening, forgive me, boy, for I have sinned. Behind the shed we go. It's behind the shed we go. Behind the shed we go. Forgive me, please, I know not what I've done. I left him laying in the yard after I shot him with my gun. Left him bloodied, left him bare when I shot him in the head. I said, work dog, work or you're dead. That's the harsh reality for many working dogs in this country. Only through education, guys, will this change. So we are out there educating the masses, doing it all through songs. Story of a Lonely Dog. Like, comment, share, buy the songs. Please go and listen to the first official song of the series. It is called Barmer. It's out there on all the digital platforms. Episode 2, second song of the series, will be out at the end of the month, and it's all about greys. So true stories, guys. The only way we make change is through education, and every dog has a story. I'm so grateful I get to share that story. To Simba and all the beautiful dogs like him.